Hello, my name is Hazel Saenz. I am from Guatemala and I am a software architect at Cognix.
Hello, my name is Sarang Kumar. I'm from India. I'm a software engineer at EY. I'm here to talk about what software engineer does in the cloud developer role.
Hello, my name is Anastasia Kondratieva, but everyone knows me as Tasia. Currently, I live in Sevilla, Spain, and I am an SRE in Flywire. I'm here to talk to you about what a site reliability engineer or SRE does.
As a software engineer, I'm responsible to build and manage the cloud native applications.
What do I do as a software architect? As a software architect, my main responsibility is to design the solution into the project that the client needs, based on the business necessities and the cost effective into the project. In order to do that, I select the tech stack according to the team best qualities and design the development life cycle according to the organization and implement best practice of CI/CD now.
As an SRE, I'm responsible for many things. Some of them are availability, performance, resilience, efficiency, capacity, monitorization, and incident response of our applications and services.
My day-to-day quite varies and it requires the focus on numerous. I would focus on creating and managing the microservices that will be deployed in the cloud. And I will also review the PR of the fellow developers. And I'll also be doing the selection of the appropriate service for the application or the use case. I'll also, while doing the development, I will also leverage the cloud SDKs to interact with the cloud service from the application. So it depends on where the product is. Whether the product is in the development phase, then me and my team will be doing the development. And when it goes into QA and QA reports any bugs, then we have to kind of troubleshoot or debug the bugs and give the solutions to the QA. And when it goes into production, then we make sure that we have the dashboards and the alert set in the system so that so if something breaks in the production, so we kind of get the alerts and we take action according to that.
My daily day task, I must say that the first one is that I have meetings. I have meetings with the business analyst and the PO of the project to validate that the business necessities have been covering my solutions. I have another different kind of meetings with the technical part of the different groups in the client to validate not only that my solution will be fit, but I need to understand what are the solutions for see if that I have an impact according a different functionality into my project. And another task that I do most every day is that I provide support to the development team every time that they have a technical question or something that is maybe is not going to be able to do in the way that I designed it, I have session with them, I discuss it, I review code with them and make sure that is aligned with the solution or to identify what we can improve. The other task that I designed, and that's probably the one that I love most about, is that I design the solution. So I have all the session to only get my inputs, and with that, I create and design the solution. I document it not only into the diagram itself, but also creating standards and all the different configuration that needs to be done. And then I present it to the architect teams of the client, and they give me their point of view about what is uh, what is the best way to implement it, and with that I can get the approved, and then it's going to be directly to the development team.
On a typical day, I would work in a number of different initiatives depending on our roadmap. So, on any given day, I may be working on improving or on maintaining our internal tools, brainstorming ideas in a spike to improve our current infrastructure, or I also may be working with other teams like data or development to help them to create new features, solve any problems that may appear, or debug any issues they're having. As an SRE, one of the biggest challenges I've faced so far has been the cognitive load, because an SRE role is a cross-cutting role in the company, and depending on the size of the company, there can be a lot of context to keep in your head. Also, in my day-to-day basis, the tasks I am performing are very different, and many times I have to perform many different tasks almost at the same time. I can be working with our infrastructure as code in Terraform, where when suddenly ECS has some issues, so I have to troubleshoot that, and a developer talks to me saying that they have some problems with their permissions, so I have to go and check our AM in AWS, and so many things are happening at the same time, and the change of focus is quite frequent and maybe quite challenging.
One of the challenges that I face as a software architect is that maybe in some cases the business is requiring me a solution that I'm not pretty sure what service or what is the best way to actually do it. So in these cases, I focus in the business needs, and then I create a research and I make a POC to validate that actually the this solution will be the best one. And I also asked with the other architects about what they think about it, and if they have already have the experience to do it, always helps.
Usually, it's very easy and straightforward to learn and use the cloud services by just reading the documentation. The actual hurdle lies in understanding the limitation of the cloud services. So I would give one example. So the API gateway on AWS. So it has one small limitation, the timeout limit. So it has a timeout limit of 30 seconds. And if you're not aware about that limitation, then it's not more a limitation. It's a quota that the AWS API gateway offers. So it kind of if you're not aware about that limitation, then you'll build your API in a synchronous manner. And if your API gives the response which takes beyond 30 seconds, then your solution will not work. You have to come up with a different approach. That is, you have to build the asynchronous API. So that is one of the challenge basically. So the understanding the limitation is it's very important. So one more limitation of the let's say for the Lambda. So if you started using Lambda, it got scaled up and it start giving the throttling exception. So you need to know about the account level concurrency, and if you require more, then you have to increase the concurrency limit for the Lambda. So these are the few limitations that we need to be aware about of the cloud service when we are building the cloud-based applications. And it's a role of the developer to know about all these limitations before even writing the code. And the second challenge I face is estimating the cost of the running infra in the cloud. So it's very difficult to come up with the right numbers and estimate the actual number that your infra that you are running in the cloud would cost. So it's so today we have the tool called AWS cost estimator. Using that, we kind of I use to estimate the cost, but still it's very difficult to come up with the right numbers, and I still have that challenge to understand the cost and estimate. Many believe that AI will replace the role of the cloud developers. I don't think so, because so once the ML engineers or the data scientists have completed building their models, so that model needs to be integrated into the core application, right? And the integration will be done by the cloud developers. So in fact, I think that more and more AI solution builds, the more and more the cloud developer role will also increase, because the integration is the one part that plays a key role, because without integration into your application, what's the need of the model that has been built? It's very important to know all the SDK. Basically, the cloud has the SDK in various languages, so it's very good to know about let's say you have used one programming language, you are aware about that, so it's good to learn about the that programming language the cloud SDK offers. So the integration is the key over here.
Well, a question that I have with this role is that actually, what is the main responsibilities? We have different types of architects in the cloud environment. The main question is, what is the software architect actually the main focus, and what is make the difference between like a cloud architect or a solution architect? And as a software architect, I may say that the difference between them is that you are going to be focused in a project, in a specific project for a specific time. Then you will create the solution, but that's not the only thing that you need to be aware of that. You need to be aware about what is the tech stack that the team actually use. All your POCs are going to be based on that tech stack, and you also need to ensure that the timeline of the project is actually coming through. As a solution architect, you create the solution, but you are not aware about the actual implementation. But as a software architect, you do, and you need to implement standards, you need to implement the best practice, you need to be aware about the tools of quality of code and all that. So that is a misconception, because in some cases you may think that you're only going to create a solution, and in this role it's not like that.
I think that one of the most common misconceptions about SRE role is that we don't work too much. Most of the tasks that we perform are invisible for the rest of the company, but that's what's keeping the company running. That's why I think it's very important for the companies to showcase what we do, for other teams to show their interest in our work and try to understand it, and for us as SREs to be very open and communicate with the rest of the company and collaborate with everyone.